Imagine a moment that should be natural, confident, and pleasurable, but instead, you catch yourself thinking that everything is ending too quickly. And the most unpleasant part is the feeling that you are losing control over your own body. For many men over 50, this becomes a quiet but painful reality that is not often talked about openly. You may be a successful, experienced, respected person, but in those moments, confidence seems to vanish, leaving behind doubts and awkwardness. As you age, your body changes, and that is absolutely normal. Energy levels are not what they used to be, recovery takes longer, and bodily reactions become less predictable. But here's what's important to understand, and the problem is not that you are getting older. The problem is that most men simply do not know how to properly adapt to these changes. They look for quick solutions, hope for miracle remedies, or worse, simply resign themselves to the situation, thinking that this is how it will be from now on. But what if I told you that there is a simple, natural way to regain control and significantly increase endurance? Without expensive medications, without complicated procedures, just through one key exercise that most men either don't know about or do incorrectly. This exercise directly affects the muscles responsible for control and duration, and with the right approach, it can literally change your self-confidence. And the most interesting part, it's not just about the physics. There is a hidden connection between breathing, the nervous system, and your ability to control the moment. If you miss this element, you lose half of the result without even realizing it. In the following sections, you will learn why this happens, what exactly changes in the body after 50, and how just a few minutes a day can yield noticeable results in a short time. So if you've ever felt frustrated, if you want to feel confident and in control again, and if you're ready to learn about things that are rarely talked about openly, stay with me. Now let's figure out why this happens at all, and why the situation can noticeably worsen with age, even if there were no problems before. It's not just about age itself. It all comes down to physiology and how your body's functioning changes over time. Imagine your body as a complex system of wires and signals. In youth, signals from the brain to the body and back travel quickly and clearly, like through new wiring. But after 50, this wiring gradually wears out. The nervous system becomes more sensitive to stress, and control over arousal becomes less stable. As a result, the body switches to the final phase more quickly, even if you don't want it to. The key role here is played by the so-called pelvic muscles, a group of muscles that most men don't think about at all. These muscles work as a kind of control valve. When they are strong and trained, you can manage the process and maintain tension at the desired level. But if they are weakened, control is lost and everything happens faster than one would like. Add to this another factor, testosterone levels. With age, it naturally decreases, which affects not only desire, but also the ability to maintain and control arousal. This doesn't mean that all is lost, but it does mean that the body now needs support, not ignoring the problem. And here is where most men make a mistake. They think the solution lies only in physicality. In reality, the nervous system and breathing play a huge role. When you are tense, when your breathing becomes shallow and rapid, the body perceives this as a signal to accelerate. It's almost like pressing the gas in a car when you actually want to brake. Without breath control, even strong muscles won't yield full results. Interestingly, studies show that men who train not only their muscles but also conscious breathing achieve significantly better control and endurance. This is because they affect both systems, the physical and the nervous, creating a balance that most lack. And now you understand the main point. The problem is not weakness or the end of youth. It's just a combination of factors that can be corrected if you know how. And the good news is that the solution is much simpler than you think. All right, now let's move on to the most important part, the solution that you can actually apply starting today. And you might be surprised at how simple it is. It's not about complicated workout programs or hours in the gym. It all starts with one key exercise that directly impacts your control. It's pelvic muscle training, often referred to as Kegel exercises, but with the correct technique that almost no one talks about. First, let's understand where these muscles are located. The simplest way to feel them is to try to stop the flow of urine. The muscles you tighten during this process are your control zone, but it's important to note this is just a test, not the actual workout. The real work begins outside the bathroom. Imagine that you are sitting or lying in a calm environment. Take a slow breath in through your nose, allowing your stomach to slightly expand. Then, on the exhale, gently tighten those very muscles as if you are trying to hold back a stream. Hold the tension for about 3 to 5 seconds, then completely relax. And here lies the secret. Most men forget about the relaxation phase, which is what teaches the body control, not just tension. Start with 10 repetitions, twice a day. It will only take a few minutes, but the effect will accumulate. After a week, increase the hold to 6 to 8 seconds. After 2 weeks, add another set. Gradually, you will begin to feel control emerging, first in training and then in real situations. But this is where we enhance the result. Add to this breathing. When you feel the tension rising, instead of speeding up, take a slow, deep breath and a long exhale. This is a signal to your nervous system to slow down. Combined with muscle work, this creates a powerful control effect that cannot be achieved by exercise alone. There is another level, conscious pauses. During intimacy, learn to step back for a moment, reducing stimulation and taking a couple of deep breaths. This does not ruin the moment, as many think, but rather prolongs it and makes it more intense. To enhance the effect, you can add light physical activity, walking, simple squats, or even stretching. This improves blood circulation and helps the body respond faster. And if you want to go even further, pay attention to nutrition. Foods rich in zinc and magnesium support hormonal balance and muscle function. It's important to understand this is not an instant miracle, but within 2 to 3 weeks, most men notice a difference. After a month, the changes become obvious not only to you, but also to your partner. And the most valuable thing is the return of confidence, which cannot be bought in any pharmacy. Imagine feeling control, calmness, and confidence at the most important moment again. This is not a fantasy. It is the result of a systematic approach that you now have. Now let's talk about where most men sabotage themselves, even if they have already started doing exercises and seem to be doing everything right, because the truth is that the result depends not only on what you do, but also on what you avoid. The first and most common mistake is excessive tension. Some men think that the harder you squeeze your muscles, the better the result will be, but in practice, it works the other way around. Constant overtension makes the muscles tired and less sensitive, which means control only worsens. It's like constantly keeping your hand clenched in a fist. At some point, you simply lose flexibility and precision. The second mistake is training irregularly or expecting instant results. Many start with enthusiasm, do exercises for a few days, and then quit because nothing has changed. But this is not a pill, it's a skill. And like any skill, it takes time. If you don't give your body the chance to adapt, you are cutting off your own progress. The third mistake is ignoring your breathing. Remember we talked about the connection to the nervous system? Well, if you continue to breathe shallowly and tensely, you are actually signaling your body to speed up. The result is a paradox. You train your muscles, but the control system remains chaotic, and the outcome is either weak or unstable. Another problem is performing exercises with the wrong muscles. Very often, men tense their abs, glutes, or even hold their breath instead of engaging the targeted area. In such cases, you expend effort but do not achieve the desired effect. Therefore, it is important to pay attention to your sensations and isolate the specific muscles we discussed. And finally, do not forget about overall health. If you have chronic illnesses, heart problems, diabetes, or you are taking medications that affect circulation or hormones, this can impact your results. In such cases, it is important to approach training consciously and consult a specialist if necessary. The biggest mistake is thinking that this is not for me or it's too late to change anything. Such thoughts stop more men than any physiological limitations. In fact, the body remains adaptive even after 50 if you give it the right signals. So, don't be that guy who starts and quits or does everything to the max but without understanding. Do it consciously, regularly, and with attention to detail, and then the results will come. So let's bring it all together and simplify it into a clear, understandable plan that you can actually use. You've learned that the problem is not age itself, but a combination of factors: weakened control muscles, a sensitive nervous system, and improper breathing. And the good news is that all of this can be influenced. Your primary weapon is a simple yet powerful pelvic muscle exercise performed with the correct technique. Just a few minutes a day, consistency, and attention to the relaxation phase will start to reshape your body's control. Add to this slow, mindful breathing, and you are literally changing the signals your nervous system sends. This is the hidden switch that many are even unaware of. Now imagine giving yourself just 14 days, not months, not sometime later, but specifically 2 weeks. Every day, 5 to 10 minutes, calmly, without haste, with focus. Observe the sensations, how your body begins to respond differently. This is your personal experiment. And if you truly remain consistent, you will notice changes, perhaps even sooner than you expect. But here's what's important. Don't keep this in your head as a theory. Apply it today, because knowledge without action doesn't yield results. And action, even small but regular, changes everything. Now, I'm curious to hear from you. Have you ever tried such exercises before, or is this something new for you? Write in the comments. Your experience can help other men who are currently doubting just like you once did. If this video was helpful, support it. Give it a like so more men can see this information. Share it with those who might find it important, and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new simple and effective strategies for health, energy, and confidence after 50. And most importantly, save this video to come back to it and stay on track, because sometimes a small change can bring back what you thought was already lost.